Discovery comes along that just completely flips the script on what we thought we knew about the ancient world. Well, today, we're diving into a brand new dinosaur that does exactly that. This is a predator that's forcing us to rethink the history of prehistoric giants.
For millions and millions of years, its bones were just hidden, buried deep beneath the sands of what is now the largest hot desert on the entire planet. So what on earth was this incredible new predator from the Sahara?
Well, here it is. Say hello to Spinosaurus mirabilis, which was just announced to the world back in February of 2026. I mean, just look at this thing. It's this amazing blend of features we recognize and some that are just completely out there.
All right, so first things first, let's get properly introduced to this newly awakened giant.
The name alone is just fantastic, and it gives us a huge clue about this animal, Spinosaurus mirabilis. That second part, mirabilis, is Latin for astonishing spine lizard. Right off the bat, you know the paleontologists who found this knew they had stumbled onto something seriously special.
Now, to really get this creature, we have to understand its home. We've got to kind of leave our world behind for a minute and take a trip back in time to Cretaceous Africa. And we are going way back. Spinosaurus mirabilis was walking the Earth about 95 million years ago. That puts it smack dab in the middle of the late Cretaceous period. It's a gap in time that's almost impossible to really wrap your head around.
And you really need to forget the Sahara you're picturing today. No endless sand dunes. The world this thing lived in was totally different. It was this lush, green, sprawling river system, just packed with forests and huge waterways, absolutely teeming with life.
The difference is it's just staggering. On the left, that's its world. A wet, vibrant, forested river system in what is now Niger, and on the right, the Sahara we know today. It's a powerful reminder of how much a planet can change. It's truly mind-blowing.
So you have this one-of-a-kind environment, right? This world of rivers. Well, a place like that is going to create a very unique kind of apex predator. The researchers gave it this nickname, and honestly, it's just perfect. The hell heron. And that's not just a cool name to grab headlines. It paints an incredibly vivid picture of how this dinosaur actually lived and hunted.
So what that means is, this wasn't some deep water swimmer like some of its Spinosaur cousins. Nope. This animal was a specialist. It was semi-aquatic, meaning it hunted by wading through those shallow rivers on its powerful legs, just patiently standing there, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, just like a modern heron. You know, if that heron were the size of a city bus.
So what was on the menu? Well, its number one food source was the huge fish that were everywhere in those rivers. But this thing was also an opportunist. You can bet that if any smaller land animals got a little too curious and came down to the water's edge for a drink, they were absolutely on the menu too. And its whole skull was basically custom built for the job. You can see it right here, that long, narrow snout, kind of like a crocodile's, packed with those specialized teeth. It was the absolute perfect tool for snatching slippery, thrashing fish right out of the water.
Okay, so we know where it lived and how it hunted, but to really appreciate this animal, we need to talk about its size, because it was just immense.
So let's start with how long it was. From the tip of its snout to the end of its tail, Spinosaurus mirabilis could reach up to 14 meters. That's about 46 feet. To put that in perspective, that is longer than a school bus. An absolutely massive animal.
And what about its weight? A truly staggering 7 tons. That's heavier than a large African bull elephant. So we're not just talking about a long animal, we're talking about something that was incredibly heavy and powerful.
And this is the kind of comparison that really brings it home. It would have absolutely dwarfed a person. I mean, it's not even close. This scale puts it firmly in that exclusive club of giant theropod dinosaurs, right up there with legends like T-Rex.
But as big as it was, its size might not have been its most unique feature. It also had this incredible scimitar-shaped crest right on top of its head. The evidence we have suggests this wasn't a weapon for fighting, but was probably used for visual display. Think of it as a giant, flashy billboard for communicating with others of its kind.
Okay, so a huge new dinosaur is found. What's the big deal? What does a discovery like this actually change about how we see the past?
Well, what Spinosaurus mirabilis really does is challenge our old ideas about what a giant predatory dinosaur could be. It proves they weren't all just land-based monsters. Some of them evolved into these highly specialized giants that were perfectly adapted to rule the wetlands and riverbanks of their lost world.
And that really brings us to one last big question. I mean, think about it. If a 14-meter-long river predator, a true giant of its time, could stay completely hidden from science for all this time, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is still out there, buried right under our feet, just waiting to be discovered?